Crypto is absolutely collapsing across the board right now. What's up, everybody? My name is Joe Brown. This is the Heresy Financial Show, and I'm going to talk about something that will piss a lot of you off today because we are going to talk about how crypto is collapsing across the board, number one, and how number two, it is a buying opportunity for Bitcoin, but nothing else, because nothing else matters in the world of crypto. The word heresy means an opinion that is profoundly at odds with the general consensus, and this certainly qualifies. Ready? Let's dive in. Sponsor of today's video is Swan Bitcoin. Swan Bitcoin is my favorite way to buy Bitcoin. You can use Swan to buy as little as $10 of Bitcoin at a time, and you can purchase it with a regular frequency of as little as every single day. Over the last 3 years, if you would have put $50 per week into Bitcoin, you would have had total invested of $7,850 worth right now, even after the massive collapse in price we've seen, it would still be worth $18,988. And if you use my link in the description below, you'll get $10 worth of Bitcoin as a sign-up bonus. All right, the first thing about this collapse in crypto is that it could be bleeding over into other markets and it could get worse. In times of illiquidity, in margin calls, in times of economic hardship, people sell what they can, not what they want to. And if you had a bunch of money in something that is worth a lot less right now, you might have to sell something else in order to make up the difference, especially if you were leveraged. And that's why across the board, no matter what you're looking at, whether it's stocks or crypto, you see red everywhere you look. People are selling not because they want to, but because they have to. In addition to the broad-based selling, we also saw Tether break the buck. Take a look at this chart with me from Bloomberg that shows the value of Tether. It massively collapsed and has since rebounded almost all the way, but this is a big deal for a stablecoin that allegedly has the ability to maintain its peg to the dollar that has clearly been broken, especially a cryptocurrency as large as this stablecoin that refuses to show what its holdings are. It's secret sauce. Now, this will undoubtedly bring regulation to the industry. This will push the SEC and policymakers over the edge and say, hey, because of all of this collapse, because of all the big crisis, because of all the people losing money, all these scams being exposed, we need to regulate this. And we are going to see, as a result of this and the future carnage, we are going to see laws passed. We are going to see regulation come into play. We are going to see much tighter rules enter the system on the backs of what is going on right now. The third thing to be aware of is that there is always extreme volatility during times of monetary transitions. When a system is going from a transition from one unit of measurement to a new one, from one money, from one currency to another, there are massive spikes in volatility. Take a look with me at this chart, which the source for this chart is apparently Dan Oliver. I could not find the source of this chart. The black line shows the gold price in Weimar marks during the collapse of the Weimar Republic in Germany, and the red line shows the percentage change in the gold price monthly. And so you can see that, yes, while the collapse of the currency resulted in the gold price going up and to the right, that doesn't mean there weren't massive volatile shocks of extreme deflation. Yes, hyperinflation over the long run, extreme bouts of volatile deflation in the short run. So anybody who was leveraged in that gold or was forced to sell when it was falling got wiped out. So just because you're right in the long term, that does not matter if you're forced out in the short term. This highlights two investing and trading principles. Number one, never risk large losses. Never have one thing be so much of a portion of your account that if it goes to zero, that you're wiped out, and never take so much leverage on something that, again, if an extreme move happens, you're forced out or you're wiped out. never, no matter what, no matter the circumstance, never risk large losses, because even if you're right in the long term, you might get forced out in the short term. And the second rule is always risk large gains, but again, keeping in mind that goes under rule number 1. And so, yes, if you're risking a large gain, you still can't put in 100% of your portfolio in something. So risk large gains, take asymmetric bets to the upside, to where if it goes down, worst case scenario, goes to 0, you still have the majority of your portfolio left over. But if it works out in your favor, then you could have a massive gain. So avoid asymmetric risks to the downside, take asymmetric risks to the upside. The next principle about what's going on right now is that fake money creates fake projects. Every single Ponzi scheme in history has happened during a time of central, easy monetary policy. Going back to the original Ponzi scheme made by Charles Ponzi, all the way to Bernie Madoff and what's been going on all around us right now, fake projects, whether it's Nikola and semi-trucks that are rolling downhill, filmed to make it look like you've got a working semi-truck, or whether it's 99% of crypto projects out there going on right now, fake money floods into the system, provides a lot of funding for fake projects that are really just a way for people to get their hands on other people's hard-earned money and get a quick paycheck and try and run away. And when the tide goes out, as Warren Buffett always likes to say, when the tide goes out, you find out who's been swimming naked. And when the money dries up, you realize which projects were fake and which ones were real. And the fact of the matter is, almost every single crypto project out there will be revealed to be a fake, and the end price of them will be 0 because, number one, even if they're not fraud, Bitcoin already solves all the problems that 90% of cryptocurrencies are trying to solve, especially when taking into account the Lightning Network. And the ones that Bitcoin doesn't solve, you don't need a cryptocurrency to take care of it. You don't need blockchain attached to that technology that doesn't solve any problems. That just makes the application of that technology worse. Blockchain is a monetary technology. It is meant to be used as money, and trying to shoehorn that into other technological applications just doesn't make sense over the long run. And so in the end, right now, we are looking at widespread carnage across crypto. We are seeing stable coins breaking the buck, breaking their peg to whatever they're supposed to be pegged to. We're seeing massive losses appear all over the place. And even Bitcoin, we are seeing massive losses in. Is this a time to back up the truck and to buy everything? In my opinion, absolutely not. But what about Bitcoin? Is this an opportunity to buy the dip? Maybe, maybe not. Given what we're seeing going on right now with interest rates going up, monetary conditions continuing to tighten, inflation continuing to go through the roof, right now, we have a very high likelihood of Bitcoin continuing to go down. Is this an opportunity to dollar cost average in? Always. Is this an opportunity to back up the truck? In my opinion, not quite yet. It may be the bottom, but if we break this $30,000 area and we continue to head down, we could head down pretty quickly here. From everything that I can tell, in the future, we will have Bitcoin be at a much higher price than it is right now, regardless of what happens along the way. At this point, I still have not seen any other cryptocurrency, any other application of the blockchain that makes me look at it and say, I'm actually really excited about that, enough to say I'm willing to put some money on the line. And of course, I'm just some guy on the internet, so don't listen to me. Do your own research and make your own decision. As always, I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.